If the FBI came after me, it could destroy my entire life. And I imagine there are a lot of people basically like me, all in and around the committee. And
that's George's dog. He thinks you should go to jail, JBL.
Yeah, I mean...
Because you said somebody shouldn't be able to go to Spago.
We're all responsible for our actions, Sarah.
Here he is. You know,
I don't know. Like, what? All right. It's just us. George is gone. He took his adorable little doggy with him.
So let's talk about some other stuff. What do you want to talk about?
I would like to talk about... I'd like to talk about President Elon.
Yeah. Good. President Musk.
What are your thoughts on all this?
I love it. This is the part I love. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Yesterday I was sitting watching this meltdown with these guys, and I thought, what is this feeling? Is it joy? I think maybe I'm experiencing.
It's a Christmas
joy.
miracle.
Because here's the thing. Look, I am aware there are real consequences to not funding the government.
Sure.
And Sam has a good piece about,
those grain farmers in the Midwest. Sarah, my heart is just breaking for them.
Well, no, I was thinking more like the pediatric cancer research that just goes offline. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of things there is. So I don't want to minimize it, but this is where Republicans' inability to govern, but not just their inability to govern. Okay. This is a leopards eating their faces moment, and I'm not going to enjoy it. Because
not going to enjoy it, but you're not going to enjoy it.
Anti being mad about Elon making these people's lives miserable. Like when you're like, Elon is just tweeting on his enormous platform and killing your bill, Mike Johnson.
Did you notice, by the way, that he now pushes his tweets to everybody on Twitter?
Because I have him blocked.
So if you are
it's
on
everywhere.
Twitter, he makes you see his speech. That's what a free speech absolutist he is.
Yeah.
Everybody has to see his speech.
Like if you just want to cheer yourself up in these dark times, you should put on some Christmas music and go read the thread between Dan Crenshaw and Cat Turd. Okay? Because Dan Crenshaw having to argue this Republican congressman who has done everything to beclown himself, who's a serious person who would have been the absolute future of the Republican Party, and in a world still could be, but watching him deal with the fact that Cat Turd is yelling at him about forever wars and calling him a Ukraine stooge, and, he just wants to fund his wars. Crenshaw having to engage with this guy, or whoever. I don't know who Cat Turd is. Maybe it's an 80-year-old grandma.
Maybe it's a woman.
But you know what? This idea too, like Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon being Trump's like enforcers, being they're going to primary people if they don't do it. Mike Johnson, them going through another House speakership. I mean, let's do another House speaker fight. Make Elon, when somebody said like,
Mike Lee.
Mike
Lee said it should be either Elon or Vivek should become Speaker of the House.
I was like, do it. Do it. These are the kinds of things. And have you seen Mike Lee lately?
Yes.
He looks like Lex Luthor. All his hair's gone. No, he shaved his head fully.
He doesn't look like Lex Luthor.
Okay, well, whatever.
He just looks like a D-bag.
Okay. Well, his idea that they should make Elon, the Republicans empowering these people who are now just going to suffocate them and make their lives miserable. I get to enjoy that, right?
Yeah,
that doesn't make me bad,
absolutely.
Right?
No. I just want to do a brief aside on the fact that the only Republican to run for president in 2024, aside from Donald Trump, who exited the process with increased stature was Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
And he didn't even win any votes. He didn't increase his stature because he did well. right? Like he is the one who has the juice in MAGA world coming out of this more than DeSantis, more than Tiny D, more than Nikki, the good Republican Haley, more than Mike Pence, God love him, more than Chris Christie. That's really something.
You know, I was reminiscing to myself as I was thinking about Vivek, but there was like a moment, and this is when Nikki Haley was like kind of winning me back over slightly. It was because, remember, she was just like buried him in a couple of the debates, just like hit him really hard. And he's such a like ridiculous figure that, and I liked watching her put him in his place. But he came out ahead. He was Nikki Haley has a podcast. Vivek Ramaswamy is running Congress. So.
Oh, it's great. It's really great. I'd like to confess a secret fear, though.
Okay.
My secret fear is that somehow Trump is going to win in all of this. So I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds like this is what, like, oh, this is what broken people, they just always expect more bad things to happen. Let me paint a picture for you in which we get a government shutdown, maybe. Mm-hmm. The public blames Biden. Like Trump and Elon just say, well, it's Biden's fault. He's president. It doesn't matter that it's Republicans voting. Uh-huh. Right. The public blames Biden. And when we eventually get a deal, we actually kill the entire debt ceiling process so that Trump never has to worry about doing with this again. And so everybody, all the other presidents have to deal with this bullshit debt ceiling thing. And he winds up being the guy who finally is unshackled and never gets held hostage by it.
Yeah. So not only do I think that's a reasonable fear, I think that's the actual plan right now. Like the actual strategy, I think, is how do we get rid of the debt ceiling so Trump can spend as much money as possible? And it was funny to see Elizabeth Warren tweet like, yes, let's get rid of the debt ceiling, because they will genuinely have Democratic support on eliminating the debt ceiling. But here's the problem. Here's the one problem for them.
The Democrats support Republicans in this to give Trump an out. I will lose my mind.
I know.
Is that wrong?
No, you should lose your mind. First of all, the debt ceiling is good. The debt ceiling is like one of these. Sorry, guys. Still, this is where my concern. They should have to talk about it before they continue to just jack up the debt. But the idea that Trump would get to do unfettered spending is even worse, because there's literally no breaks then, because Republicans will all have to fall in line. Now, he won't fund things that Democrats want, by the way. I mean, I guess maybe they will. Who knows? So I think your fear is legitimate, but Democrats, shouldn't bail them out. And then they can't do it because there will be, like Chip Roy, like they just don't have a big enough majority. This is why watching the Republican House is going to be a little fun. Like they needed to win by a much higher margin to be able to do anything that just they want to do. And so, but yes, if Democrats bail them out, don't do it, guys. I know some of you listen to this podcast. Don't
maybe
do it.
Bail them out now. Don't bail them out on the, hey, we're just going to stop this debt ceiling nonsense.
That's right.
Stop the debt ceiling nonsense when there's a Democratic president. Not now.
I don't think you should do it either time, but
I'm saying if they want to, right? If that's a thing you guys want to do, don't play political suicide here. Like, have you learned nothing?
Well, we don't have to yell at them like that yet. They haven't done it. We just have to tell them. We just have to say, please don't. Only you will lose from this. Yeah. And what else was I going to say? So I don't. But the other thing about blaming Biden. No, so I do think generally the president in charge gets the blame. Is Biden still president? Genuinely asking here. It is the attention. Donald Trump is it is funny. when I was doing that deal book thing, Jason Miller was like, all the foreign dignitaries, they're coming to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Trump. And like Maggie Haberman was like, but we're only allowed to have one president at a time, right? And he was kind of like, but like Biden is nowhere to be seen. Trump is everywhere. Actually, he's not everywhere. He's funny. His henchmen are everywhere. And then Trump is like handing down dictates from Truth Social Tower.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's insane stuff. Anyway, I don't think that Joe Biden takes the pain on this from average people, because I think people are just like, we're in Trump's world now.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I don't know. People are so dumb. I'm loath to ever assume that they will reach the logical conclusion. I'd like to talk about the Trump-Elon relationship, because I think a lot of our type of people are salivating at the prospect of Trump and Elon turning on each other. And I spent a fair amount of time thinking about that, and I don't think it's likely.
George and I were just talking about this.
So what were your thoughts on this? I actually think that they are very well suited, and that their interests don't align, but their interests are not in tension with one another.
I think that's right. So George made the point that I hadn't quite thought about, which is that actually Trump, with everybody else, like Steve, like, because Nicole Wallace, I was on Nicole yesterday, and she asked me this question about, well, doesn't Trump, as a pattern of practice, as soon as somebody else sort of when people start to act like somebody else might have the control or the power, Trump's ego, like his narcissism kicks in, and he's like, no, this person's gone, like Steve Bannon, right? When Steve Bannon was saying he was the architect of Trump's victory. But that Elon is different because Trump actually needs Elon. And that Elon has Trump actually a little bit boxed in, not just because he has this enormous platform, but also because, like, he's got so much money. Like, if Trump made an enemy out of him, Elon could do real damage to Trump in ways that most other people can't. Like, they don't want to be enemies with each other. And for Elon, what he gets out of it is Elon came to this country illegally and is now an American citizen, but because he was not born here, cannot be president of the United States. So this is as close. Yeah, this is likely as close as he'll get.
We can talk about that. I actually think that that's not entirely true.
Okay. I don't think Elon can be president. That is a clear constitutional question. I know you think there's like literally no rules.
There are literally no rules.
Okay. There's still a few. So I don't think Elon can be president. This is the closest. So they are mutually beneficial in the way that, like, Trump actually does want to keep Elon on side, wants his platform, wants his money probably. I mean, the way that he can leverage him as an enforcer to go sue people he doesn't like having those deep pockets around, Trump loves that.
Yeah. And
I agree with you.
And Trump doesn't want to accomplish anything.
Right.
Like legislatively. So the downside of Elon is that he will make it harder to pass legislation, but none of Trump's real goals involve passing legislation. They involve consolidating power within the executive branch.
Right.
It's Schedule F. It is going through the bureaucracy, making sure the generals are all Trumpists, and getting rid of bureaucrats and putting loyalists in place, and making himself to continue to be a viable political force for as long as possible. Those are his goals. Passing law XYZ about, like, the Widget Endangerment Act or whatever, he doesn't care.
Right.
And so he can do his thing. And if Elon makes everybody's life in Congress harder, so what?
So what?
If Republicans don't hold the House in 2022 from Trump's perspective, so what? He doesn't give a shit about the Republican Party, except that he owns it.
Right.
And from Elon's perspective, he strikes me as a guy whose motivations are almost entirely around two things. Hey, Sarah, there's more show.
Oh, there is?
Yeah.
Are we still talking? We have more talking?
We're still talking. The talking goes on. But that's only for the people who are inside the Velvet Rope, the Bulwark Plus members.
Oh, they got to subscribe.
Yeah. Tell them to subscribe. Tell the people,
You should subscribe,
Sarah.
Guys. Why wouldn't you subscribe? You get all kinds of things. You get some extra me and JVL. You get some extra me and George Conway. You get JVL's Triad. This is one of the best things the Bulwark offers. I read it at least once or twice a week.
Yes. Go and subscribe. We'd love to have you.